The secret life of forests is a fascinating subject, revealing a world teeming with life, connections and mysteries. And a key aspect to consider is how trees communicate with each other. Did you know that trees can send distress signals through the air, using chemicals to warn neighboring trees of danger, like insect infestations or diseases? This chemical language allows forests to act as a community where trees support each other in times of need. Another interesting aspect is the role of fungi in forest ecosystems. Mycorrhizal fungi form symbiotic relationships with tree roots, creating vast underground networks, sometimes referred to as the wood wide web, where nutrients and information are exchanged, benefiting both the fungi and the trees. When we explore the biodiversity within forests, it's important to recognize the variety of species that call these ecosystems home. Forests are not just made up of trees. They host countless species of plants, animals, insects, and microorganisms, all of which play crucial roles in maintaining the health of the ecosystem. In fact, some estimates suggest that over 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity is found in forests, making them vital for ecological balance. The canopy layer of forests, for instance, is home to a multitude of creatures, from colorful birds to elusive mammals, all thriving in this unique habitat. Moreover, forests play a significant role in carbon sequestration, which helps combat climate change. Trees absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, storing carbon in their biomass and releasing oxygen back into the atmosphere, which is essential for life on Earth. This process not only helps reduce greenhouse gases, but also contributes to the overall health of our planet, making forests invaluable in the fight against global warming. The seasonal changes in forests also offer a captivating glimpse into their secret life. As seasons change, so do the behaviors of both flora and fauna. Trees shed their leaves in autumn, preparing for winter dormancy, while many animals engage in migration or hibernation, adapting to the changing environment. These cyclical changes create a dynamic ecosystem where life is constantly evolving and adapting to the rhythms of nature. Exploring the impact of human activity on forests reveals both challenges and opportunities. Deforestation, driven by agriculture, urbanization, and logging, poses a significant threat to forest ecosystems, leading to habitat loss, decreased biodiversity, and increased carbon emissions. However, there's also a growing movement towards reforestation and sustainable forestry practices, aiming to restore balance and protect these vital resources for future generations. Forests, often called the lungs of our planet, play several fundamental ecological roles that are crucial for maintaining a balanced global environment. They are vital in producing oxygen, as trees absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, releasing oxygen as a byproduct, which is essential for the survival of most living organisms. This process not only helps to sustain life, but also mitigates the effects of climate change by reducing the amount of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, in the atmosphere. Furthermore, forests act as significant carbon sinks, storing vast amounts of carbon in their biomass and soil, which helps to regulate the Earth's climate by absorbing carbon from the atmosphere. In addition to their role in carbon storage, forests provide habitat for an incredible diversity of wildlife. They are home to approximately 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity, including countless species of plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms, many of which are yet to be discovered. This rich biodiversity is essential for ecosystem resilience, allowing forests to adapt to changes and disturbances, such as disease outbreaks or climate variations. Forests also play a crucial role in the water cycle, as they help to regulate local and global hydrology. Trees absorb rainfall, reducing runoff and promoting groundwater recharge, which is vital for maintaining freshwater supplies. They also release water vapor back into the atmosphere through a process called transpiration, contributing to cloud formation and precipitation patterns, which can have far-reaching effects on weather systems. Furthermore, forests help to prevent soil erosion by stabilizing the soil with their root systems, which not only protects the land, but also maintains soil fertility, allowing for better agricultural practices in surrounding areas. They act as natural barriers against wind and floods, reducing the impact of natural disasters on communities and ecosystems. Moreover, forests contribute to local economies, providing resources such as timber, nuts, fruits, and medicinal plants, while also supporting recreational activities and tourism, which can be sustainable when managed responsibly. The aesthetic and spiritual value of forests cannot be overlooked either, as they offer spaces for reflection, recreation, and connection to nature, which are increasingly recognized as vital for mental well-being. Overall, the ecological roles that forests play are interconnected, creating a web of life that supports not only the environment but also human societies, highlighting the importance of conserving these vital ecosystems for future generations. Forests around the world are incredibly diverse, not only in terms of the species they support, but also in their ecosystems, which vary significantly from one type of forest to another. Tropical forests, for instance, are known for their high levels of biodiversity. These lush, warm environments, often found near the equator, are home to more species of plants and animals than any other ecosystem on Earth. In these forests, trees grow tall and thick, creating multiple layers that support various forms of life. The understory, filled with smaller trees and shrubs, is a haven for countless insects and animals, while the canopy, where the tops of trees meet, is bustling with birds, monkeys, and even reptiles, all thriving in the warm, humid climate. The constant warmth and ample rainfall allow for year-round growth, making these forests dynamic ecosystems with intricate food webs and relationships among species. In contrast, temperate forests, which can be found in regions like parts of North America, Europe, and Asia, present a different picture. These forests experience 4 distinct seasons, with warm summers and cold winters. This seasonal variation influences the biodiversity found within them. While temperate forests may not have the same level of species richness as tropical forests, they host a variety of trees such as oaks, maples, and pines, which provide habitats for diverse wildlife, including deer, bears, and a variety of bird species. The changing seasons also mean that many plants and animals have adapted to a rhythm of dormancy and activity, reflecting the cyclical nature of this ecosystem. The leaf litter that falls during autumn provides essential nutrients to the soil, supporting the growth of new plants in spring. Then we have boreal forests, or taiga, which stretch across northern regions including parts of Canada, Russia, and Scandinavia. These forests are characterized by their cold climates, with long, harsh winters and short summers. The biodiversity here is lower than in tropical or temperate forests, but the species that do thrive in this environment are uniquely adapted to survive the cold. Coniferous trees, like spruces and firs, dominate the landscape, and their needle-like leaves reduce water loss, making them well suited for the harsh conditions. The wildlife, such as moose, wolves, and various migratory birds, has adapted to the cold, often relying on a diet that changes with the seasons. For example, some birds migrate to warmer areas during winter, while others, like the snow. Tree species diversity plays a crucial role in maintaining forest health, as it ensures the resilience and stability of these ecosystems. When forests are made up of a variety of tree species, they can better withstand diseases, pests, and environmental changes, such as droughts or heavy storms. Different species often have unique adaptations to their surroundings, which means they can thrive under various conditions. And when one species is affected by a disease or a pest, others may remain unaffected, thus providing a buffer against total forest loss. This diversity also contributes to a more complex food web, supporting a wide range of wildlife, from insects to birds and mammals, all of which rely on different types of trees for food and habitat. Moreover, diverse tree species can enhance the soil quality, as different trees have varying root structures and nutrient requirements, which can improve soil health and promote better water retention. This leads to more robust plant communities below the forest canopy, which in turn supports a greater variety of animal species. Additionally, a diverse forest can capture more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping to mitigate climate change, as different species grow at different rates and have different capacities for carbon storage. The interactions among different tree species can also lead to a phenomenon known as facilitation, where one species helps another to grow, such as through nitrogen fixing capabilities or by providing shade and shelter. This interconnectedness means that the loss of any single species can have cascading effects, disrupting these beneficial relationships and ultimately leading to diminished forest health. Furthermore, tree species diversity can influence the forest's response to natural disturbances, such as fires or floods. Some species may be more fire-resistant, while others might thrive in the aftermath of such events, allowing the forest to recover more quickly. In this way, a diverse array of tree species can act like a safety net, helping the entire ecosystem bounce back from adversity. Maintaining tree species diversity is also important for cultural and economic reasons. Many communities rely on forests for their livelihoods, whether through logging, ecotourism, or collecting non-timber forest products. A diverse forest can provide a sustainable source of resources, and it often attracts tourists looking for unique natural experiences, thus contributing to local economies. In summary, the significance of tree species diversity in maintaining forest health cannot be overstated, as it fosters resilience, promotes ecological stability, and supports both biodiversity and human well-being. Forest ecosystems play a vital role in carbon sequestration and climate regulation, acting as natural carbon sinks that absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Trees, through the process of photosynthesis, take in carbon dioxide, using sunlight to convert it into glucose, which fuels their growth. As trees grow, they store carbon in their trunks, branches, leaves, and roots, effectively removing carbon from the air. This process not only helps to mitigate the effects of climate change by reducing the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, but also supports biodiversity, as forests provide habitats for numerous species, contributing to the overall health of the planet. Moreover, the soil in forest ecosystems also plays a significant role in carbon storage. Healthy forest soils can store vast amounts of carbon, as they are rich in organic matter, which is formed from decomposing plant material including fallen leaves and dead trees. This organic matter not only enriches the soil, helping to retain moisture and nutrients, but also acts as a carbon reservoir, further enhancing the forest's ability to sequester carbon. In addition to carbon storage, forests influence local and global climates. They regulate temperature and humidity, creating microclimates that can support diverse plant and animal life. By transpiring water, trees release moisture into the atmosphere, which can lead to increased rainfall in surrounding areas. This process is crucial for maintaining the water cycle, as well as for supporting communities that depend on consistent rainfall for agriculture and drinking water. Furthermore, forests can help to mitigate the impacts of climate extremes, such as heat waves and heavy rainfall, by acting as natural barriers. Their canopies provide shade, reducing the urban heat island effect in nearby cities, while their roots help to hold soil in place, preventing erosion and reducing the risk of flooding. The intricate web of life in forest ecosystems also fosters resilience against climate change, as diverse species interact and adapt to changing conditions, helping to maintain ecosystem stability. In summary, forest ecosystems are essential for carbon sequestration and climate regulation, functioning as powerful natural systems that absorb carbon dioxide, enrich soil, influence local climates, and provide resilience against climate change. They not only contribute to the health of our planet, but also support the well-being of countless species, including humans, underscoring the importance of preserving and protecting these vital ecosystems for future generations. Forests, often referred to as the lungs of our planet, play a vital role in supporting wildlife and fostering biodiversity, creating complex ecosystems that are teeming with life. Within these lush environments, trees provide not only shelter, but also food sources for countless species, ranging from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. The variety of tree species, along with the layers of vegetation, such as the understory and forest floor, creates unique microhabitats where different animals can thrive. For instance, birds often nest in the canopies, while small mammals and reptiles find refuge among the roots and leaf litter below. Moreover, forests are home to a multitude of plant species which are essential for maintaining ecological balance. These plants produce oxygen and serve as the base of the food chain, supporting herbivores, which in turn provide sustenance for carnivores. This interdependence illustrates how forests maintain a rich tapestry of life, where each organism, whether it be a tiny insect or a mighty predator, plays a crucial role in the overall health of the ecosystem. In addition to providing shelter and food, forests also contribute to biodiversity through their ability to create varied habitats. For example, standing dead trees, known as snags, provide nesting sites for birds and homes for insects, while fallen logs create habitats for fungi and decomposers, which recycle nutrients back into the soil, promoting healthy plant growth. The diversity of habitats within forests allows a wide range of species to coexist, each adapted to their specific niche, ultimately leading to a more resilient ecosystem. The seasonal changes within forests further enhance their role in supporting wildlife. During spring and summer, the abundance of flowers and fruits attracts pollinators and herbivores, while autumn brings a change in diet as animals prepare for the colder months. This seasonal rhythm not only affects the behavior and life cycles of various species, but also ensures that the forest remains vibrant and alive throughout the year, supporting a dynamic web of life. Forests also serve as crucial corridors for wildlife, connecting different habitats and allowing species to move, breed, and find new territories. This connectivity is essential for maintaining genetic diversity, particularly for species that may be threatened or endangered. By providing these pathways, forests help ensure that wildlife populations remain healthy and viable over time. In addition to their ecological importance, forests offer numerous benefits to human beings as well, including clean air, water filtration, and climate regulation. By protecting and preserving these vital ecosystems, we also safeguard. In forest ecosystems, the relationships between trees and fungi are incredibly intricate and vital for the health of the environment. Trees, which are some of the largest and most prominent organisms in these ecosystems, often form symbiotic relationships with fungi, particularly mycorrhizal fungi, that live in the soil. These fungi attach to the roots of trees, creating a network that allows for better nutrient and water absorption. This partnership is so beneficial as the tree provides the fungi with carbohydrates, which are produced through photosynthesis, while the fungi, in turn, enhance the tree's ability to take up essential nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen from the soil. This relationship goes beyond just a simple exchange. It establishes a communication network among trees, often referred to as the wood wide web. Through this system, trees can send signals to one another about environmental stresses, such as drought or insect attacks. This allows neighboring trees to prepare their defenses or adjust their growth strategies. For instance, if one tree is infected with a disease, it can alert nearby trees through biochemical signals, prompting them to bolster their immune responses. Additionally, fungi play a crucial role in the decomposition of organic matter, breaking down fallen leaves, dead trees, and other plant materials. This process recycles nutrients back into the soil, making them available for trees and other plants to use. Some fungi also form relationships with specific tree species, leading to a unique symbiosis that can influence the composition of the entire forest. This means that the type of fungi present can affect which trees thrive in a particular area, creating a delicate balance within the ecosystem. Moreover, the interactions between trees and fungi can also impact the broader animal community in the forest. Many animals rely on fungi for food, while some, like squirrels, help disperse fungal spores, contributing to the growth and spread of these organisms. In this way, trees and fungi not only support each other, but also weave a complex web that sustains various forms of life, from tiny soil organisms to large mammals. The diversity of fungi associated with trees is also remarkable, as there are myriads of species, each adapted to specific conditions and tree types. Some fungi form mushrooms, which are the fruiting bodies that we see above ground, while others remain hidden underground, forming vast networks of mycelium that can extend for miles. This underground world is teeming with life, with fungi playing a critical role in maintaining soil health and structure. The presence of these fungal networks can... Forests are dynamic ecosystems, responding to seasonal changes in various fascinating ways, as the rhythm of nature dictates a cycle that influences everything from temperature to light availability. As winter fades into spring, many trees begin to awaken from dormancy, a state they enter to survive the cold months. During this time, trees exhibit remarkable adaptations, such as the emergence of buds, which hold the promise of new leaves, flowers, and fruits. The warming temperatures trigger the release of hormones, like auxins, which stimulate growth and cell division, leading to the unfolding of those tightly packed buds. As spring progresses into summer, trees ramp up their photosynthesis, the process by which they convert sunlight into energy thanks to the longer days and abundant light. This is the time when forest canopies become lush and vibrant, creating a habitat for various wildlife, as well as providing shade and cooler temperatures below. Many trees have broad, flat leaves that maximize sunlight absorption, while others, especially in drier climates, may have needle-like leaves to reduce water loss. Additionally, some species exhibit a phenomenon known as phenology, where they time their flowering and fruiting to coincide with the availability of pollinators, ensuring successful reproduction. When autumn arrives, forests undergo a stunning transformation. As trees prepare for the coming winter, the days shorten, temperatures drop, and the production of chlorophyll, the green pigment crucial for photosynthesis, slows down. As chlorophyll breaks down, other pigments, such as carotenoids and anthocyanins, become more visible, painting the trees in vibrant hues of yellow, orange, and red. This color change is not just for aesthetic pleasure, it serves several purposes. The vibrant colors can attract animals that help in seed dispersal, while the production of anthocyanins may help protect the leaves from damage caused by sunlight and cold temperatures. As winter approaches, many deciduous trees shed their leaves, a process known as abscission, which helps them conserve water and energy during the harsh months ahead. The trees form a protective layer at the base of the leaf stem, cutting off the flow of nutrients and water, which leads to the leaves' eventual drop. This adaptation is crucial, as it prevents water loss when the ground is frozen and water is less available. In contrast, evergreen trees, such as pines and spruces, have adapted to retain their leaves throughout the winter. Their needle-like leaves have a waxy coating that reduces water loss and allows understory plants, which grow beneath the forest canopy, play a crucial role in maintaining the health and balance of the forest ecosystem. They contribute in several significant ways. Firstly, these plants, which include shrubs, young trees, and various herbaceous species, are essential for providing habitat and food for a variety of wildlife, including insects, birds, and small mammals, which rely on these plants for shelter and nourishment. The diversity of understory plants can support a rich community of organisms, creating a complex web of life that enhances the overall biodiversity of the forest. Moreover, understory plants help to regulate the microclimate within the forest. Their leaves and stems create shade, which can keep the forest floor cooler and more humid. This moisture retention is vital for many species that thrive in damp environments. The presence of understory vegetation also aids in soil conservation, as the roots of these plants help to anchor the soil, preventing erosion, and when they die and decompose, they contribute organic matter back into the soil, enriching it and promoting healthier growth of both understory and overstory plants. Additionally, understory plants play a significant role in nutrient cycling, as they absorb nutrients from the soil, which are then passed on to higher trophic levels. When animals consume them, this process supports the entire food web within the forest. They also participate in photosynthesis, capturing sunlight that filters through the canopy and converting it into energy, which is essential not only for their growth but also for the entire ecosystem, as this energy ultimately sustains herbivores and, in turn, carnivores. Another interesting aspect of understory plants is their ability to adapt to low-light conditions. Many species have developed unique adaptations that allow them to thrive in the shaded environment beneath the taller trees. Some have larger leaves to capture as much sunlight as possible, while others grow quickly during the spring before the canopy fully leaves out. Taking advantage of the increased light, this resilience and adaptability contribute significantly to the overall stability and productivity of the forest ecosystem. Furthermore, understory plants can influence the distribution and growth of overstory trees as they compete for resources such as light, water, and nutrients. Their presence can affect the growth rates of surrounding trees, leading to a dynamic interplay between different layers of vegetation. This interaction not only shapes the forest structure, but also plays a role in how the ecosystem responds to disturbances like storms or fires by providing a buffer that can help protect the soil and promote recovery. Forest fires, often seen as destructive forces, play a complex role in the regeneration and health of forest ecosystems, as they can lead to both immediate and long-term effects on the environment. When a fire occurs, it can seem devastating, with trees charred, underbrush reduced to ash, and wildlife displaced. But in many cases, these fires are a natural part of the ecosystem's life cycle. For example, some plant species have adapted to fire, developing traits that allow them to thrive in post-fire conditions, such as thick bark that protects against flames or seeds that require the heat of a fire to germinate. The heat from the fire can trigger the release of seeds from cones, especially in species like lodgepole pine, which depend on fire for regeneration, creating new opportunities for growth in the nutrient-rich soil left behind. Moreover, when a fire burns through a forest, it can clear out dense underbrush and dead material, allowing sunlight to reach the forest floor, which promotes the growth of new plants. This process can lead to a surge of biodiversity, as various species take advantage of the newly available resources. Certain herbaceous plants, which may have been overshadowed by larger trees, can flourish in the open space, providing food and habitat for various animals, including insects, birds, and mammals. In this way, fire can rejuvenate the ecosystem, creating a habitat that supports a wide array of life. However, the effects of forest fires are not always positive, as the intensity and frequency of fires can significantly influence the outcome. In ecosystems that have evolved with fire, such as those found in Mediterranean climates, low-intensity fires can be beneficial, while high-intensity fires, especially those fueled by climate change and human activity, can lead to soil erosion and loss of nutrients, making it harder for new plants to establish. Additionally, when fires become too frequent, they can prevent some tree species from reaching maturity, disrupting the balance of the ecosystem. Furthermore, the aftermath of a forest fire can also have significant implications for wildlife, as animals may struggle to find food and shelter immediately after the event. Some species may migrate to find more suitable habitats, while others may adapt to the new landscape. Over time, the recovery of the forest can provide new opportunities for wildlife, as the regrowth offers fresh resources and habitats. It's also important to consider the role of fire in maintaining healthy ecosystems. Controlled burns, which are intentionally set under specific conditions, can help reduce the risk of forest succession. Is a fascinating natural process that describes how ecosystems change over time, especially in forested areas. When an area experiences a disturbance, such as a fire, logging, or a storm, it sets off a sequence of changes in the plant and animal communities. This process can be divided into two main types: primary succession and secondary succession. Primary succession occurs in lifeless areas where soil has not yet formed, like after a volcanic eruption or glacial retreat, while secondary succession happens in areas where a disturbance has cleared existing vegetation but left the soil intact, such as after a forest fire. In the early stages of succession, pioneer species, which are often hardy plants like lichens and mosses, begin to colonize the bare ground. These pioneers are crucial as they help to break down rocks and create soil, making it possible for other plants to grow. As time passes, these early colonizers are replaced by more complex species like grasses and shrubs, which further enrich the soil and create conditions suitable for larger plants, including trees. This gradual replacement of one community by another is a key feature of succession, and it leads to increased biodiversity as different species interact and establish themselves over time. As the forest matures, it develops distinct layers, including the understory, canopy, and emergent layer, each with its own microclimate and species composition. The changes in vegetation not only influence the types of animals that inhabit the area, but also affect soil health, water retention, and even local climate conditions. For example, a dense canopy can reduce sunlight reaching the ground, leading to a different set of plants and organisms thriving in the shade, while the fallen leaves and branches contribute to the nutrient cycle, enriching the soil. The process of forest succession is not linear. It can be influenced by various factors, such as climate, soil type, and human activities. For instance, in some managed forests, landowners may encourage certain types of trees to grow, which can alter the natural succession process. In other cases, invasive species may disrupt the balance, outcompeting native plants and changing the trajectory of succession. Understanding forest succession is essential for conservation efforts, as it helps scientists and land managers predict how ecosystems will respond to environmental changes, including climate change, which is increasingly affecting forest dynamics. Overall, forest succession is a dynamic and intricate process that shapes our forest landscapes, creating a rich tapestry of life that evolves over time, demonstrating the resilience of nature and its ability to recover. Symbiotic relationships play a crucial role in the health and growth of forests, one of the most fascinating examples being the partnership between trees and mycorrhizal fungi. This relationship is primarily beneficial for the trees, as the mycorrhizal fungi, which live in the soil, form networks that connect with the roots of the trees. These fungi expand the root system, helping trees absorb water and essential nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen from the soil more effectively than they could on their own. In return, the trees provide the fungi with carbohydrates, which they produce through photosynthesis, essentially feeding the fungi and enabling them to thrive. This mutual exchange is vital for forest ecosystems, as it not only promotes the growth of individual trees, but also enhances the overall health of the forest. Moreover, the mycorrhizal networks act like a communication system among trees, allowing them to share resources and even warn each other of potential threats such as pests or diseases. This interconnectedness leads to increased resilience within the forest, as trees can support one another in times of stress. Additionally, these relationships contribute to soil health, as the fungi help to decompose organic matter, returning nutrients to the soil and improving its structure. This creates a more fertile environment for various plant species, promoting biodiversity and ensuring that the forest can thrive over time. Interestingly, research has shown that different species of trees can have different types of mycorrhizal fungi associated with them, which leads to a rich tapestry of interactions within the forest. Some trees may even preferentially associate with certain fungal species, which can influence the composition of the forest itself. For instance, in a mixed forest, the presence of certain tree species may encourage specific mycorrhizal fungi to flourish, affecting the growth patterns and health of surrounding vegetation. This complex web of relationships underlines the importance of preserving forest ecosystems, as the loss of either trees or mycorrhizal fungi can disrupt these vital connections, leading to decreased forest health and growth. In essence, the symbiotic relationships between trees and mycorrhizal fungi are a cornerstone of forest ecology. They not only facilitate nutrient uptake and water absorption, but also foster communication and resilience among trees, while supporting the overall biodiversity of the forest. Understanding these interactions gives us greater insight into the intricate balance that sustains forest ecosystems, highlighting the need for conservation efforts to protect these valuable natural resources. Deforestation, which involves the clearing or thinning of forests, significantly disrupts the water cycle in forested regions, creating a cascade of environmental effects. Forests play a crucial role in the water cycle, as they help maintain the balance of water through processes such as transpiration, where trees release water vapor into the atmosphere from their leaves. This process contributes to cloud formation and precipitation, which are essential for replenishing groundwater and surface waters. When trees are removed, this natural cycle is disturbed, leading to a reduction in local humidity, which can decrease rainfall, making areas drier over time. Moreover, deforestation changes the way water is absorbed and stored in the soil. Forested areas typically have a rich layer of organic matter that helps retain moisture, but when trees are cut down, the soil structure can become compacted, reducing its ability to hold water. This can lead to increased runoff, which means that instead of water soaking into the ground, it rushes over the surface, causing erosion and reducing the quality of the soil. This excessive runoff can also lead to flooding in the short term, as rainwater has nowhere to go, creating a cycle of water scarcity during dry periods and excess during rain events. Additionally, the loss of trees means that there are fewer roots to anchor the soil, which can lead to landslides, especially in hilly or mountainous areas. The deforested landscape can lose its ability to filter and purify water, as trees and plants play a significant role in capturing sediments and pollutants. This can have dire consequences for local waterways, where increased sedimentation can harm aquatic life and disrupt ecosystems. In regions where deforestation leads to the drying out of local climates, the changes can be profound. For example, areas that once enjoyed a moderate climate with regular rainfall may become arid, impacting agriculture, drinking water supplies, and the overall health of ecosystems. In some cases, these areas can experience shifts in vegetation, leading to the growth of more drought-resistant species, which further alters the landscape and its ability to cycle water effectively. Moreover, the impact of deforestation extends beyond local areas, as changes in the water cycle can affect weather patterns and rainfall in distant regions. The interconnected nature of ecosystems means that what happens in one area can have repercussions far away, leading to changes in climate and weather systems that can affect food security and livelihoods around the globe. Understanding these complex interactions highlights the importance of preserving forests, not just for their beauty and biodiversity, but human activities have a profound impact on forest ecosystems, altering their natural processes in various ways. Deforestation is one of the most significant actions, as it involves the large-scale removal of trees for agriculture, urban development, or logging, which disrupts habitats, reduces biodiversity, and affects the carbon cycle. When trees are cut down, not only are the homes of countless species destroyed, but the soil also becomes more vulnerable to erosion, leading to the loss of nutrients that plants need to thrive. Furthermore, when forests are cleared, the ability of these ecosystems to sequester carbon dioxide diminishes, contributing to climate change, which then creates a feedback loop that further stresses these environments. In addition to deforestation, pollution from industrial activities can severely affect forest ecosystems. Chemicals, such as pesticides and fertilizers, can leach into the soil and waterways, impacting the health of plants and animals. This contamination can lead to a decline in species that are sensitive to these chemicals, disrupting the food web and altering the natural balance of the ecosystem. Moreover, air pollution, particularly from vehicle emissions and industrial processes, can lead to acid rain, which damages trees and soil, further complicating the survival of various species. Urbanization also plays a significant role in altering forest ecosystems. As cities expand, forests are often fragmented into smaller patches, which isolates wildlife populations, making it harder for them to find mates, food, and suitable habitats. This fragmentation can lead to inbreeding and reduced genetic diversity, putting species at greater risk of extinction. Additionally, urban areas can introduce invasive species, which often outcompete native plants and animals for resources, further threatening the integrity of forest ecosystems. Climate change, driven by human activities, is another major factor affecting forests. Rising temperatures, altered rainfall patterns, and increased frequency of extreme weather events can stress forest ecosystems, making them more susceptible to pests, diseases, and wildfires. For instance, warmer temperatures can lead to outbreaks of pests like bark beetles, which can devastate large areas of forest, while changing precipitation patterns can lead to droughts, making trees more vulnerable to disease and death. Finally, human recreation, while often seen as a way to connect with nature, can also have negative impacts. Activities like hiking, camping, and off-road vehicle use can lead to soil compaction, vegetation damage, and disturbances to wildlife. When people venture into forests, they can unintentionally trample delicate plants, disturb nesting birds, and introduce waste that can harm the traditional ecological knowledge, often referred to as tech, is a rich body of understanding that indigenous peoples have developed over generations through their close relationship with the land, plants, and animals. This knowledge encompasses the sustainable management of forests, which is vital for maintaining biodiversity, ecosystem health, and cultural heritage. Indigenous communities have a holistic view of the environment, recognizing the interconnectedness of all living things, and their practices reflect this deep understanding. For instance, indigenous peoples often utilize a method called selective harvesting, where only certain trees are cut down, allowing the forest to regenerate naturally, which helps maintain the structural integrity of the ecosystem. They also practice controlled burns a technique that reduces the buildup of underbrush, promotes the growth of certain plant species, and creates habitat for wildlife, showing that fire can be a tool for forest health rather than destruction. Moreover, many indigenous groups have developed intricate systems of land stewardship that incorporate seasonal cycles, animal behavior, and plant life cycles, leading to sustainable harvesting practices that ensure resources are available for future generations. This means that when they gather food, wood, or medicinal plants, they do so in a way that respects the limits of nature, ensuring that these resources can continue to thrive. In addition to their sustainable harvesting practices, indigenous peoples often hold spiritual beliefs that connect them to the land, viewing it not just as a resource, but as a living entity deserving of respect and care. This spiritual connection often translates into practices that promote biodiversity, such as planting a variety of crops or maintaining diverse ecosystems that support various species. Indigenous knowledge systems also include the use of traditional ecological monitoring, where community members observe changes in the environment over time, allowing them to track the health of the forest and respond to any signs of degradation. This monitoring can be incredibly detailed, with elders passing down knowledge about specific plants, animals, and weather patterns, which helps ensure that the community remains in tune with their environment. Furthermore, many indigenous groups engage in community decision-making processes that prioritize the voices of those who have lived on the land for generations, creating a sense of ownership and responsibility toward forest management. In recent years, there has been a growing recognition of the value of traditional ecological knowledge in contemporary environmental management, with some governments and organizations actively seeking to incorporate indigenous practices into broader conservation strategies. This collaboration often leads to more effective and culturally sensitive approaches to forest management, recognizing that indigenous peoples have a wealth of knowledge that can complement scientific approaches. This partnership not only enhances ecological outcomes, but also forests are not just collections of trees and wildlife. They are vibrant ecosystems that hold deep cultural and spiritual significance for many local communities around the world. For countless indigenous peoples, forests are sacred spaces, places where ancestors have walked and where traditions have been passed down through generations. The trees, plants, and animals within these forests often embody stories, beliefs, and values that shape the identity of the community. Many cultures have rituals and practices that revolve around the forest, such as seasonal ceremonies that honor the changing of the seasons, the spirits of the land, and the gifts that the forest provides. These practices are not merely for show, they are vital for maintaining a connection to their heritage, ensuring that the wisdom of the past continues to inform the present and future. Furthermore, forests often serve as a source of inspiration for art, music, and storytelling within these communities. The sounds of rustling leaves, the calls of birds, and the gentle flow of nearby streams fuel creativity, leading to expressions that celebrate the beauty of nature and the relationships people have with it. Artists may draw upon the colors and textures found in the forest, while storytellers use the natural world as a backdrop for tales that teach moral lessons or explain the mysteries of life. In many cultures, the forest is viewed as a living entity with its own spirit and personality. People may leave offerings or perform rituals to honor these spirits, seeking guidance or blessings in their daily lives. This deep respect for the forest encourages sustainable practices, as communities understand that their well-being is intertwined with the health of their environment. By nurturing the forest, they are also nurturing their own cultural identity and spiritual health. Moreover, forests can play a crucial role in community cohesion, bringing people together for collective activities such as foraging, hunting, or gathering medicinal herbs. These shared experiences foster a sense of belonging and strengthen social bonds as individuals come together to celebrate the gifts of nature. In some cases, elders share their knowledge of the forest with younger generations, ensuring that traditional skills like identifying edible plants or understanding animal behavior are preserved and passed on. The significance of forests as cultural and spiritual resources is also recognized in many modern conservation efforts, which often include the voices of local communities in decision-making processes. This approach acknowledges that protecting forests is not just about saving trees, but also about safeguarding the cultural heritage and spiritual practices that depend on them. By valuing the insights and needs of these communities, conservationists can create strategies that benefit both. Studying and monitoring forest health and biodiversity involves a variety of techniques, each designed to gather essential data about trees, plants, animals, and the overall ecosystem. One common method is remote sensing, which utilizes satellite imagery and aerial photography to assess large areas of forest quickly. This technique allows researchers to observe changes in forest cover, track deforestation rates, and identify areas affected by pests or disease, providing a broad view of forest health over time. Ground surveys complement remote sensing, where scientists physically visit specific areas to collect data on tree species, soil quality, and water availability, which are crucial for understanding local biodiversity. Another valuable technique is the use of biodiversity indices, which are mathematical tools that help quantify the variety of species within a particular area. By calculating these indices, researchers can determine how diverse a forest is and monitor changes in biodiversity over time, especially in response to human activities or environmental stresses. Additionally, camera traps are an innovative way to study wildlife in forests, capturing images or videos of animals in their natural habitat. This method helps track animal populations, observe behaviors, and assess the health of various species without disturbing their environment. Moreover, genetic analysis is an increasingly important tool for studying biodiversity. By analyzing DNA samples from plants and animals, researchers can gain insights into the genetic diversity within species, which is vital for understanding their resilience to diseases, climate change, and other threats. This genetic information can help conservationists develop strategies to protect endangered species and restore ecosystems. Participatory monitoring is another technique that encourages the involvement of local communities in observing and documenting forest health. Citizens can contribute valuable knowledge about their environment, track changes, and report sightings of species, which can enhance data collection and foster a sense of stewardship over natural resources. Furthermore, the use of acoustic monitoring, which records sounds in forest ecosystems, allows scientists to assess biodiversity by identifying species through their calls and other sounds, providing a unique perspective on the health of the ecosystem. Lastly, long-term ecological research sites are established to monitor forests over extended periods, enabling scientists to observe trends and changes in forest health and biodiversity in relation to climate change, invasive species, and human activities. These sites serve as vital resources for understanding how forests function and respond to various environmental pressures, offering insights that can inform conservation efforts and sustainable management practices. The combination of these diverse techniques creates a comprehensive approach to studying and monitoring forest health and biodiversity, ensuring that we can effectively protect and manage these vital ecosystems for future generations. Forest resilience refers to the ability of forests to withstand and recover from disturbances such as climate change, pests, and wildfires. As climate change continues to impact ecosystems around the world, understanding and promoting forest resilience has become increasingly important. One significant aspect of forest resilience is biodiversity, which plays a critical role in ensuring that forests can adapt to changing conditions. Biodiverse forests, which contain a variety of tree species, plants, and animals, are often more resilient because they can better withstand pests and diseases, and they can recover more quickly after disturbances. This diversity allows for different species to fulfill various ecological roles, which can help stabilize the ecosystem during times of stress. Another essential factor in forest resilience is the health of the soil. Healthy soils are rich in organic matter and microorganisms, which support plant growth and can store carbon, helping mitigate climate change. When soils are healthy, they can retain water more effectively, which is crucial during droughts, a common consequence of climate change. Practices such as sustainable forestry, reforestation, and reducing soil compaction can help maintain or improve soil health, thus enhancing the resilience of forests. Moreover, forests also play a vital role in regulating the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This carbon storage capacity is crucial as it helps to mitigate the effects of climate change. By maintaining and restoring forest ecosystems, we can enhance their ability to sequester carbon, which is a natural way to combat the increasing levels of greenhouse gases. Furthermore, resilient forests can help protect watersheds, prevent soil erosion, and maintain water quality, all of which are increasingly important as climate change alters precipitation patterns and increases the frequency of extreme weather events. In addition to their ecological benefits, resilient forests also provide economic and social benefits to communities. They can offer resources such as timber, food, and medicine, while also providing recreational opportunities and enhancing the quality of life for nearby residents. By investing in the resilience of forests, communities can create sustainable livelihoods that are less vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Lastly, it is important to consider the role of traditional ecological knowledge in enhancing forest resilience. Indigenous and local communities often possess valuable insights and practices developed over generations which can contribute to sustainable forest management and resilience. By integrating this knowledge with scientific approaches, we can foster more robust and adaptive forest ecosystems. Understanding and promoting forest resilience is essential for adapting to climate change, as it allows ecosystems to maintain their functions and services even in the face of significant environmental changes. By focusing agroforestry systems, which combine trees with agricultural crops, bring a multitude of benefits, enhancing both environmental health and agricultural productivity. One of the primary advantages is the improvement of soil quality. The roots of trees help to stabilize the soil, preventing erosion, while also enhancing its structure and nutrient content through the addition of organic matter from fallen leaves and decomposed roots. This leads to healthier crops, as they thrive in richer, more stable soils. Additionally, trees play a critical role in the water cycle. They help to retain moisture in the soil, reducing the need for irrigation, which is particularly valuable in areas prone to drought. Moreover, agroforestry systems can increase biodiversity. By integrating various plant species, these systems create habitats for a wide range of wildlife, which in turn contributes to pest control and pollination. For instance, birds and beneficial insects can thrive in these diverse ecosystems, helping to manage pest populations naturally and enhancing the pollination of crops. The presence of trees also provides shade, which can be beneficial for certain crops and livestock, reducing heat stress and improving overall resilience to climate fluctuations. Furthermore, agroforestry practices can lead to increased carbon sequestration, which is crucial in the fight against climate change. Trees capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it in their biomass, thereby helping to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions. This dual function of producing food while simultaneously addressing environmental issues makes agroforestry a compelling approach to sustainable agriculture. Economic benefits also arise from these systems. Farmers can diversify their income by producing not only crops, but also timber, fruits, nuts, and other tree-based products. This diversification can enhance resilience against market fluctuations, as farmers are not solely reliant on one type of crop. Additionally, agroforestry can improve food security by providing a variety of produce throughout the year, ensuring that communities have access to a stable food supply. Lastly, agroforestry systems can enhance the aesthetic value of landscapes, offering scenic beauty that can attract tourism and recreational opportunities. This can create additional economic benefits for rural communities, as visitors may be drawn to the beauty and ecological significance of these integrated systems. With so many interconnected benefits, agroforestry represents a holistic approach to farming that supports both people and the planet, making it a vital practice for sustainable development in agriculture. Forests play an essential role in maintaining soil health and preventing erosion, thanks to their unique structure and the interactions between trees, plants, and the soil beneath them. The roots of trees and plants grow deep into the ground, creating a complex network that helps to bind the soil together, which is vital for preventing erosion, especially on sloped terrains. This root system acts like a natural anchor, holding the soil in place and reducing the risk of it being washed away by rain or blown away by wind. Moreover, as trees grow, they shed leaves, branches, and other organic matter, which decomposes and enriches the soil with nutrients, fostering a vibrant ecosystem for microorganisms, fungi, and earthworms that all contribute to soil health. The layer of fallen leaves, known as leaf litter, serves multiple purposes, not only providing a habitat for various creatures, but also acting as a protective blanket over the soil, shielding it from heavy rain and harsh sunlight. This layer helps retain moisture in the soil, creating a more stable environment for plant roots to thrive. Additionally, the organic materials that accumulate over time enhance the soil structure, making it more porous, which improves water infiltration and reduces runoff, thereby further preventing erosion. Forests also play a significant role in the water cycle, as trees absorb and store large amounts of water, releasing it slowly back into the environment through a process called transpiration. This helps to regulate local climates and maintain a balance in the ecosystem, ensuring that the soil remains moist and healthy. When precipitation occurs, the tree canopy intercepts rainfall, allowing it to drip slowly to the ground, which minimizes the impact of raindrops on the soil surface, thus reducing soil compaction and preventing erosion. The diverse plant life found in forests contributes to this dynamic as well. Different types of vegetation provide various root structures that further enhance soil stability. For instance, some plants have fibrous roots that spread out near the surface, while others have deeper taproots that reach down into the soil, creating a well-rounded support system for soil health. Furthermore, the presence of a variety of species increases biodiversity, which is crucial for resilient ecosystems. In addition to these physical benefits, forests also contribute to the chemical health of the soil. The decomposition of organic matter enriches the soil with essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are vital for plant growth. Healthy soil not only supports trees and plants, but also helps to sustain a variety of wildlife. From insects, the canopy layer, often referred to as the upper layer of a forest, holds immense significance in the overall dynamics of forest ecosystems, acting as a vital bridge between the earth and the sky. This layer, which consists of the tops of trees, usually forms a dense cover that can be anywhere from 30 to 100 feet above the ground, depending on the species of trees and the location of the forest. The canopy plays several crucial roles, starting with its impact on sunlight penetration. By absorbing a significant amount of sunlight, the canopy regulates the amount of light that reaches the lower layers of the forest, such as the understory and forest floor. This, in turn, influences the types of plants that can thrive in these shaded areas, shaping the biodiversity of the entire ecosystem. Moreover, the canopy layer is a critical habitat for numerous species, including birds, insects, and mammals, many of which rely on the leaves, branches, and fruits found there. These creatures have adapted to life high above the ground, developing unique behaviors and feeding strategies that enable them to exist in this vertical realm. For instance, many birds build their nests in the canopy, utilizing the cover for protection against predators while also taking advantage of the abundant food sources, such as insects and fruits, that this layer provides. The canopy layer also serves as a refuge for various species, creating microhabitats that can sustain diverse forms of life, from epiphytes, which are plants that grow on other plants, to specialized insects that are uniquely adapted to this environment. Additionally, the canopy plays a significant role in the water cycle of the forest ecosystem. Through a process known as transpiration, trees in the canopy release water vapor into the atmosphere, which contributes to cloud formation and precipitation. This moisture is vital for maintaining the overall health of the forest, as it helps regulate temperature and humidity levels. The canopy also intercepts rainfall, allowing water to be absorbed gradually by the forest floor rather than causing rapid runoff that can lead to soil erosion. As the canopy captures rainwater, it fosters a more consistent water supply for the plants and animals living below, ensuring their survival even during dry spells. Another important function of the canopy layer is its contribution to carbon storage and climate regulation. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis, and the canopy acts as a significant reservoir for carbon. By storing carbon, the canopy helps mitigate climate change, as forests are a crucial component of the global carbon cycle. The preservation of healthy urban forests and rural forests present fascinating contrasts, especially when it comes to biodiversity and the ecosystem services they provide. Urban forests, often found in cities and towns, are typically characterized by a mix of native and non-native tree species, shrubs, and other vegetation, all of which are adapted to withstand the stresses of urban environments such as pollution, limited space, and human activity. These forests can include parks, street trees, and green roofs, which create essential green spaces for both people and wildlife, but they often have lower biodiversity compared to rural forests. The fragmentation of habitats in urban areas often leads to fewer species of plants and animals, as the available space is limited and the environment is altered significantly by human development. In urban forests, you might find species that are more tolerant of urban conditions, such as the American sycamore, silver maple, or certain ornamental trees like cherry blossoms. These trees offer some ecosystem services, such as shade, which helps cool the urban environment, and carbon sequestration, which is vital for combating climate change. However, the overall ecosystem services provided by urban forests can be limited compared to their rural counterparts. Rural forests, on the other hand, typically boast a higher level of biodiversity, consisting of a rich variety of native flora and fauna which thrive in larger, more continuous habitats. These forests are often more complex, with layers of vegetation that support different species at various levels, from the forest floor to the canopy. The diverse plant life in rural forests provides numerous ecosystem services, including water filtration, soil stabilization, and wildlife habitat, supporting not just the trees, but also the myriad animals that depend on them for food and shelter. Additionally, rural forests play a significant role in carbon storage, which is crucial for regulating the Earth's climate. They also influence local weather patterns and help maintain the water cycle, providing a vital resource for surrounding ecosystems and human communities. While urban forests can encourage community engagement with nature, offering recreational areas and promoting mental well-being, rural forests often serve as crucial ecological reserves, maintaining larger populations of wildlife and preserving genetic diversity. The presence of more extensive and interconnected habitats in rural areas allows for greater species interactions and pollination, which are essential for the health of ecosystems. In summary, while both urban and rural forests provide valuable ecosystem services and contribute positively to human health and the environment, they differ significantly in terms of biodiversity and the scale at which they operate. Urban forests often serve as vital green spaces in densely populated areas, whereas rural, invasive species can have profound effects on native forest ecosystems, disrupting the delicate balance that exists among plants, animals, and microorganisms. When non-native species are introduced, whether accidentally or intentionally, they can outcompete native species for resources such as sunlight, water, and nutrients. This competition often leads to a decline in the population of native plants, which are essential for maintaining the overall health of the forest. For instance, when invasive plants like kudzu or Japanese knotweed take root, they can grow rapidly, smothering native vegetation and altering the landscape. Additionally, invasive species can change the soil chemistry, often leading to nutrient depletion, which further hinders the growth of native plants. Moreover, invasive animals can also disrupt native species. For example, when non-native herbivores such as deer or goats are introduced into a forest ecosystem, they may graze on native plants at unsustainable levels, preventing them from regenerating. This overgrazing can lead to a loss of biodiversity, as the plants that once provided habitat and food for various species of insects, birds, and mammals may disappear. Furthermore, invasive predators, like the Burmese python in the Florida Everglades, can decimate populations of native wildlife, creating a ripple effect throughout the ecosystem. The introduction of invasive species can also lead to the spread of diseases that native species are not equipped to handle. For instance, the arrival of the chestnut blight fungus devastated the American chestnut tree population, leading to significant changes in forest structure and composition. Similarly, non-native insects, such as the emerald ash borer, can infest and kill native trees, further altering the forest dynamics. The loss of these keystone species can have cascading effects, affecting everything from soil stability to the availability of food for wildlife. In addition, invasive species can impact ecosystem services that forests provide, such as carbon storage, water filtration, and erosion control. As native species decline, the ability of the forest to sequester carbon may diminish, contributing to climate change. The changes in plant composition can also affect water dynamics, leading to altered hydrology, which can increase the risk of flooding or drought. Soil erosion may become more pronounced when native plants which stabilize the soil are replaced by invasive species that do not have the same root structure. Lastly, the economic implications of invasive species are significant. Managing invasive species often requires considerable resources, including funding for eradication efforts and restoration of native habitats. This can strain. Forest ecosystems are incredibly rich and diverse environments that play a crucial role in providing essential resources for humans and wildlife alike. These ecosystems, composed of various trees, plants, animals, and microorganisms, offer a wealth of timber which is harvested for construction, furniture, and paper products. Timber, derived from trees, is a renewable resource when harvested sustainably, meaning that if managed properly, forests can continue to provide wood for generations. The process of photosynthesis, where trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, not only helps to create the wood that we use, but also contributes to cleaner air, benefiting all living creatures. Moreover, forests are a treasure trove of medicinal resources. Many modern medicines are derived from compounds found in plants, and a significant number of these plants are nestled within forest ecosystems. For example, the bark of the willow tree contains salicin, which led to the development of aspirin, a common pain reliever. Additionally, the Pacific yew tree has provided the ingredient for the cancer drug Taxol, showcasing how forests hold potential cures for various diseases. Yet many plant species remain unstudied, leaving a vast amount of knowledge still to be discovered. Food is another critical resource that forests provide, offering a variety of fruits, nuts, and edible plants. Many communities around the world rely on forest resources for their diet, gathering wild berries, mushrooms, and nuts, which are often richer in nutrients compared to cultivated varieties. Foraging in forests not only supports local diets, but also encourages sustainable practices, as many people learn to respect the ecosystem and its delicate balance, understanding that overharvesting can lead to depletion of these resources. Furthermore, forests play an essential role in maintaining biodiversity, which is crucial for ecosystem health. The rich variety of species found within a forest contributes to the resilience of the environment, allowing it to withstand changes and disturbances. Healthy forests can regenerate after events like wildfires or storms, continuing to provide timber, medicine, and food. The intricate relationships between trees, plants, animals, and microorganisms create a network that supports life, making forests vital to the overall health of our planet. In addition to the physical resources, forests offer services that benefit humanity, such as carbon storage, which helps mitigate climate change, and water purification, which maintains the quality of our drinking water. The interplay of these elements in forest ecosystems highlights their importance, emphasizing that preserving and protecting these natural environments is essential, not only for the resources they provide, but also for the overall well-being of the forest corridors, those strips of natural habitat that connect larger patches of forests, play a crucial role in promoting wildlife movement and enhancing genetic diversity among animal populations. These corridors act as safe passageways, allowing different species to travel between isolated habitats, which is increasingly important in a world where human activities, like urban development and agriculture, fragment natural landscapes. When animals can move freely through these corridors, they are less likely to become trapped in small, isolated areas, which can lead to inbreeding and a decline in genetic diversity. Genetic diversity is vital for the health of species, as it allows populations to adapt to changing environments, resist diseases, and survive in the long term. For example, many species of animals, such as deer, bears, and various bird species, rely on these corridors to find food, mates, and new territories. Without these connections, populations can dwindle, leading to a greater risk of extinction. Corridors can also mitigate the effects of climate change, as animals may need to move to cooler areas or seek different habitats in response to shifting weather patterns. By maintaining and restoring these corridors, we help ensure that wildlife can migrate as needed, thereby bolstering their chances for survival. In addition to benefiting individual species, forest corridors support entire ecosystems. They allow for the movement of not just larger mammals, but also smaller creatures, insects and plants, which can facilitate pollination and seed dispersal, further enhancing the biodiversity of the area. The interconnectedness fostered by these corridors creates a web of life that supports various species, promoting a balanced ecosystem where each organism plays a part in maintaining the health of the environment. Moreover, corridors can also enhance the resilience of ecosystems against disturbances such as fires, floods, or diseases. When habitats are connected, species have alternative routes and areas to retreat to during such events, which can help populations recover more quickly. This connectivity is essential for maintaining ecological functions, such as nutrient cycling and water regulation, that are critical for the health of the planet. The creation and preservation of forest corridors also provide opportunities for communities to engage with nature, encouraging ecotourism and recreational activities that can lead to a greater appreciation for wildlife and the environment. By investing in these green pathways, we not only protect wildlife, but also promote sustainable practices that can benefit both nature and local economies. Thus, the significance of forest corridors extends beyond the immediate environment, influencing broader ecological health, economic stability, and the overall well-being of our planet. Forest conservation efforts play a crucial role in mitigating the effects of climate change, as forests act as significant carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which helps to reduce the overall concentration of greenhouse gases. When forests are preserved, they continue to store carbon in their trees, soil and biomass, preventing it from being released back into the atmosphere. Moreover, healthy forests contribute to climate regulation by influencing local weather patterns, maintaining moisture levels, and providing shade, which can help cool the surrounding environment. In addition, conserving forests supports biodiversity, which is vital for ecosystem resilience. Diverse ecosystems are better equipped to withstand changes and recover from disturbances such as extreme weather events that are becoming more frequent due to climate change. Furthermore, forest conservation helps prevent soil erosion, which can lead to land degradation and loss of productivity, making areas more susceptible to the impacts of climate change, like droughts or floods. By maintaining the integrity of forest ecosystems, we can ensure that they continue to provide vital services such as clean water, which is essential for both human populations and wildlife. Reforestation and afforestation efforts, which involve planting trees in deforested areas or creating new forests, can further enhance these benefits by increasing carbon sequestration, restoring habitats, and improving air quality. In addition, forests play a key role in regulating the water cycle, as they help to maintain groundwater levels and reduce runoff, which can lead to flooding. Forested areas act like sponges, absorbing rainwater and slowly releasing it, which is crucial for maintaining river flows during dry periods. This natural water management is especially important in the face of climate change, where altered precipitation patterns can lead to water scarcity in some regions. Moreover, forest conservation can also provide economic benefits, as sustainable forestry practices can generate income for local communities while preserving resources for future generations. By promoting ecotourism, forest conservation can create jobs and raise awareness about the importance of protecting these ecosystems, fostering a sense of stewardship among local populations. Lastly, engaging communities in conservation efforts through education and participatory programs can empower individuals to take action in their own environments, leading to broader support for policies aimed at combating climate change. In summary, the multifaceted benefits of forest conservation in addressing climate change are clear. Through carbon storage, biodiversity support, water regulation, and economic opportunities, preserving forests is a vital strategy in our fight against global warming, ensuring a healthier planet for both current and future generations. Forest-dwelling animals have developed an astonishing array of unique adaptations that allow them to thrive in their complex and often challenging environments. One striking adaptation found in many forest animals is camouflage, which helps them blend into their surroundings, making it easier to avoid predators and ambush prey. For instance, the leaf-tailed gecko, native to Madagascar, has evolved to mimic the appearance of leaves, twigs, and even tree bark, rendering it almost invisible in the lush foliage of the forest. Similarly, the coloration and patterns of the jaguar, with its distinctive rosettes, help it remain hidden among the dappled sunlight and shadows of the rainforest, enhancing its predatory skills. Another remarkable adaptation is the ability to climb, which is crucial for many forest animals, as it allows them to escape from ground-based threats and reach food sources that are often found high in the trees. Squirrels, for example, possess strong limbs and sharp claws, enabling them to navigate branches with ease while searching for nuts and seeds. Additionally, the sloth has developed long claws and a slow metabolism, which not only makes it an excellent climber, but also allows it to conserve energy while hanging in the trees for long periods, feeding on leaves that are low in nutrients. Some animals have also adapted to the varying light conditions in forests, where sunlight filters through the canopy. Nocturnal creatures, like the owls and certain species of bats, have developed enhanced night vision, allowing them to hunt in low-light conditions. On the other hand, many diurnal animals, such as various birds, have keen eyesight that enables them to spot predators or prey from afar during the day. The adaptability of vision is just one example of how forest animals have evolved to meet the specific challenges of their habitat. In addition to physical adaptations, behavioral changes are also prominent among forest animals. For instance, many species exhibit social behaviors or group living, which can be beneficial for protection and resource gathering. The cooperative hunting strategies of wolves or the intricate social structures of primates, like monkeys and apes, reflect how living in groups can enhance survival in a forest environment. Moreover, some animals, like the red-cockaded woodpecker, have developed specialized nesting behaviors, creating cavities in live trees which not only provide protection for their young, but also benefit other species that might use the abandoned cavities later. Dietary adaptations are also crucial for survival in forest ecosystems, where food sources can be varied and seasonal. Forest bathing, a practice that originated in Japan and is known as Shinrin-yoku, involves immersing oneself in a forest environment, engaging with nature through all five senses, and allowing the natural surroundings to promote relaxation and healing. The relationship between forest bathing and human health is supported by a growing body of research which shows that spending time in nature can significantly enhance well-being, reduce stress, and improve overall mental health. When individuals walk among trees, breathe in the fresh air, and listen to the sounds of the forest, they often experience a decrease in anxiety and depression. This phenomenon is partly due to the presence of phytoncides, natural oils released by plants and trees, which can lower cortisol levels, a hormone associated with stress. Furthermore, studies have indicated that forest environments can boost immune function, improving the body's ability to fight off illness. The sights, sounds, and smells of a forest can also stimulate the senses in a soothing manner, leading to a meditative state, which promotes mindfulness and a sense of connection to the world around us. Being surrounded by greenery can enhance cognitive function, improving focus and creativity, while the rhythmic sounds of nature provide a calming background that can help clear the mind. The practice of forest bathing encourages people to slow down, breathe deeply, and fully engage with their surroundings, which can be a refreshing antidote to the fast-paced urban lifestyle many lead today. Additionally, spending time in forests has been linked to lower blood pressure and improved heart rate, contributing to better cardiovascular health. In essence, forest bathing serves not only as a way to reconnect with nature, but also as a means to nurture our physical and emotional health, harnessing the profound benefits that natural environments can offer. As more people seek ways to enhance their well-being in an increasingly busy world, the practice of forest bathing continues to gain popularity, highlighting the vital role that nature plays in our lives. Innovative technologies are transforming the way we map and study forest ecosystems, leading to a deeper understanding of these vital environments. One such technology is LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. This system uses laser pulses to measure distances, creating detailed three-dimensional maps of forest structures, including the heights of trees, canopy density, and even the ground surface beneath thick foliage. This data helps researchers assess biomass, monitor changes over time, and understand how forests respond to climate change. Another exciting advancement is the use of drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles, which have become increasingly popular in forestry research. Drones equipped with high-resolution cameras and sensors can capture aerial images and collect data over large areas, allowing scientists to monitor forest health, track wildlife populations, and assess the impact of human activities such as logging or land development. These aerial surveys are often faster and more cost-effective than traditional ground surveys, making it easier to gather information about remote or difficult-to-access areas. Remote sensing technologies, including satellite imagery, are also crucial in studying forest ecosystems. Satellites can provide extensive global data on forest cover, deforestation rates, and changes in vegetation over time. With advancements in satellite technology, researchers can now analyze data with greater precision, allowing for real-time monitoring of environmental changes and supporting conservation efforts worldwide. In addition, the integration of geographic information systems, or GIS, plays a significant role in mapping forest ecosystem. GIS combines various types of data, including topography, soil type, and climate conditions, to create comprehensive maps that help scientists visualize and analyze forest landscapes. This technology enables better planning for forest management, conservation strategies, and habitat restoration efforts, all aimed at protecting biodiversity. Moreover, artificial intelligence, or AI, is beginning to enhance forest research by analyzing vast amounts of data from multiple sources, such as satellite images, drone footage, and field measurements. AI algorithms can identify patterns and make predictions about forest health, pest outbreaks, or climate impacts, allowing for more informed decision-making regarding forest conservation and management. Citizen science is also playing a vital role in studying forests. With the help of mobile applications and online platforms, individuals can contribute valuable data about local ecosystems, such as tree species identification or wildlife sightings. This community involvement not only raises awareness about forest conservation, but also enriches the data available to scientists, leading to more comprehensive studies. Overall, these innovative technologies are revolutionizing how we approach the study and conservation of forest ecosystems, providing researchers with powerful tools to better understand. Forest ecosystems play a significant role in shaping local weather patterns and climate, acting as both a regulator and a contributor to various atmospheric processes. Trees, with their extensive canopies, intercept rainfall, allowing water droplets to either evaporate back into the atmosphere or percolate into the soil, which helps maintain local humidity levels. This interception of rain not only prevents soil erosion, but also sustains the moisture needed for undergrowth and other plant life, creating a microclimate that can be markedly different from surrounding areas. Moreover, forests contribute to the process of transpiration, where trees release water vapor through their leaves, effectively adding moisture to the air, which can lead to increased cloud formation and even influence precipitation patterns in the region. Additionally, forests help to moderate temperatures as they provide shade and reduce the heat absorbed by the ground, thereby cooling the air during hot weather. This cooling effect can create a more stable environment for various species, as well as influence weather conditions by altering wind patterns. For example, areas with dense forests may experience less wind due to the trees breaking up the airflow, which can also affect local weather dynamics, leading to calmer conditions. Furthermore, forests are instrumental in carbon storage, as trees absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, which plays a crucial role in regulating atmospheric levels of this greenhouse gas. By sequestering carbon, forests help mitigate climate change, which in turn can alter local weather patterns over time. This relationship showcases the interconnectedness of forest ecosystems and broader climatic systems, where the health of a forest can influence not only local but also regional climates. In some cases, large forested areas can even create their own weather systems, such as localized rainfall or fog, due to the unique conditions they produce. For example, in coastal forests, the interaction between the ocean breeze and the forest can lead to the formation of clouds and mist, creating a distinct ecosystem that supports diverse wildlife. This ability to influence weather highlights the importance of protecting forests, as their loss can lead to changes in local climates, increased temperatures, and altered precipitation patterns, which can have cascading effects on both nature and human communities. The role of forests in influencing local weather and climate is essential, not just for the ecosystems they support, but also for the people who depend on these environments, for their livelihoods, agriculture, and overall well-being. Understanding this relationship helps emphasize the need for conservation efforts that aim to protect forested areas and maintain the delicate balance they provide in our changing world. When discussing the ethical considerations surrounding forest conservation and land use, it's important to acknowledge that forests are not just resources to be used, they are complex ecosystems that support a vast array of life, including countless species of plants, animals, and even fungi. These ecosystems also provide essential services for humans, such as clean air, water, and carbon storage, which are vital for combating climate change. One of the primary ethical considerations involves the rights of indigenous peoples, who often have deep spiritual and cultural connections to their ancestral lands. Their knowledge of sustainable practices, passed down through generations, is invaluable, yet their voices are frequently overlooked in discussions about land use. Furthermore, there is the ethical dilemma of balancing economic development with environmental protection. Many developing nations face pressure to exploit their forest resources to increase economic growth, which can lead to deforestation and habitat destruction. This raises questions about who benefits from such exploitation and who bears the consequences. Additionally, the issue of environmental justice comes into play, as marginalized communities often suffer the most from environmental degradation, despite contributing the least to the problem. Another significant consideration is the impact of climate change on forest ecosystems. As temperatures rise and weather patterns shift, forests face threats from pests, diseases, and extreme weather events. Conservation efforts must not only focus on protecting existing forests, but also on restoring degraded lands and creating resilient ecosystems that can adapt to changing conditions. The ethical obligation here is to ensure that future generations inherit a planet that is capable of sustaining life in all its forms. Moreover, there is a growing recognition of the importance of biodiversity, which is crucial for ecosystem health. The extinction of species can have ripple effects throughout an ecosystem, disrupting food webs and leading to further losses. Therefore, ethical land use should prioritize the preservation of biodiversity recognizing that every species plays a role in maintaining ecological balance. In addition, the ethical obligation to act on climate change intersects with forest conservation, as forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Preserving and restoring forests can be seen as a moral imperative, given their role in mitigating climate change and its associated impacts on human lives and the planet's health. This means that conservation strategies should not only focus on protecting existing forests, but also on reforestation and afforestation efforts that can enhance carbon sequestration and restore degraded landscapes. Lastly, transparency and accountability in decision-making processes regarding land use are essential. Ethical considerations demand that stakeholders, including local communities, governments, and corporations, engage in open dialogues about land use. Community-based forest management practices empower local populations by giving them a direct role in the stewardship of their local resources, fostering a sense of ownership and enhancing their livelihoods. When communities are involved in managing forests, they can make decisions that best suit their needs, rather than having outside entities impose regulations that may not take local conditions into account. This involvement often leads to improved forest health, as local people understand their environment intimately, having lived and worked in these areas for generations. By participating in the management of forests, communities can develop sustainable practices that balance ecological health with their economic needs, such as harvesting timber, gathering non-timber forest products, and engaging in ecotourism. Furthermore, community-based management can lead to better conservation outcomes, as local populations are more likely to protect forests when they perceive direct benefits from them. When communities manage forests, they are often able to implement practices that prevent illegal logging, poaching, and other harmful activities, ensuring that the forest remains a viable resource for future generations. This empowerment also enhances social cohesion, as communities come together to discuss and address issues related to their environment, fostering collaboration and collective action. Additionally, community-based forest management can improve local governance, as it encourages the establishment of rules and norms that reflect the values and priorities of the community. This often results in stronger institutions that are better equipped to address local challenges, including conflicts over resource use and the impacts of climate change. Education and capacity building initiatives, often part of community-based management programs, further enable local populations to acquire skills and knowledge, allowing them to advocate for their rights and interests. Ultimately, when communities are empowered through their involvement in forest management, they can achieve greater economic stability, improved environmental conditions, and enhanced social well-being, making them key players in the sustainable use of forest resources. Forests play a crucial role in pollination and supporting food systems, providing a habitat for a vast array of pollinators such as bees, butterflies, and birds. These pollinators are essential for the reproduction of many plants, particularly flowering plants, which in turn produce fruits, nuts, and seeds that are vital for human consumption and wildlife sustenance. The intricate relationships between trees, plants, and pollinators form a web of life that supports not only biodiversity, but also agricultural productivity. In forest ecosystems, the diversity of plant species offers various resources for pollinators, ensuring they have food throughout the seasons, which helps maintain their populations and, consequently, the pollination of crops and wild plants. Moreover, forests contribute to the stability of local climates, which can enhance pollinator activity. Forests help to regulate temperature and humidity, creating microclimates that are favorable for many species. This is particularly important during flowering seasons when pollinators are actively foraging. In addition to providing habitat and favorable conditions, forests also support the growth of many wild food sources, which can complement agricultural systems. For example, many fruit-bearing trees and shrubs found in forests provide food for both humans and wildlife, contributing to a healthy and balanced ecosystem. The interdependence between forests, pollinators, and food systems is evident in many traditional agricultural practices, where farmers incorporate agroforestry techniques. These techniques blend agricultural crops with trees and shrubs, promoting biodiversity while enhancing soil health and water retention, which are critical for crop production. The presence of trees in agricultural landscapes can improve pollination rates, leading to higher yields and better quality produce. Furthermore, forests play a vital role in maintaining soil health, which is essential for food production. Healthy soil supports diverse plant life, including those plants that rely on animal pollinators. The organic matter from decomposing leaves, branches, and other plant materials enriches the soil, promoting the growth of crops. The roots of forest trees also help to prevent soil erosion, ensuring that nutrients remain in the ground, which is crucial for agricultural areas nearby. In many regions around the world, the decline of forest areas has led to a decrease in pollinator populations, which can have dire consequences for food security. Deforestation and habitat destruction threaten not only the species that rely on forests for their survival, but also the agricultural systems that depend on pollination. Conservation efforts aimed at preserving and restoring forest habitats can significantly benefit pollinator populations, which in turn supports reforestation and afforestation efforts play a crucial role in restoring degraded lands which have suffered from deforestation, overgrazing, and other forms of environmental degradation. When we talk about reforestation, we refer to the process of replanting trees in areas where forests have been cut down or destroyed, while afforestation involves planting trees in areas that were not previously forested. Both practices are important not only for the restoration of ecosystems, but also for enhancing biodiversity, combating climate change, and improving soil health. In many parts of the world, degraded lands have lost their ability to support wildlife, and reforestation can help to bring back the flora and fauna that once thrived in those areas. Trees provide habitats for various species, and by creating a forested environment, we can support a wide range of organisms, from insects to birds and mammals. This increase in biodiversity is essential for ecosystem resilience, as diverse ecosystems are better able to withstand environmental changes and recover from disturbances. Moreover, reforestation and afforestation contribute to the fight against climate change. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas, from the atmosphere, thus helping to mitigate the effects of global warming. When we plant more trees, we not only capture carbon, but also promote the health of our planet's atmosphere. In addition to carbon capture, trees play a vital role in regulating local climates, providing shade, reducing urban heat, and influencing rainfall patterns. Improving soil health is another significant benefit of these efforts. Trees help to prevent soil erosion by stabilizing the soil with their roots, which is particularly important in areas prone to landslides or heavy rainfall. The leaf litter and organic matter produced by trees enrich the soil, supporting a greater variety of plant life and improving water retention. Healthy soils are essential for agriculture, as they provide the nutrients necessary for growing crops and sustaining food production. Furthermore, reforestation and afforestation can lead to economic benefits for local communities. When trees are planted, they can be managed sustainably to provide timber, fruit, and other forest products, creating jobs and improving livelihoods. Additionally, restoring degraded lands can enhance the overall beauty of a region, attracting ecotourism, which can further support local economies. In many cases, these efforts also promote community engagement and education, as people come together to plant trees and learn about the importance of forests for environmental health. Community-driven projects can empower individuals, fostering a sense of stewardship over their natural resources and encouraging. Climate change is significantly affecting forest phenology and species distributions, leading to a variety of ecological consequences. As temperatures rise, many trees and plants are beginning to bloom and leaf out earlier in the spring, which can disrupt the timing of biological events in the ecosystems. For instance, if flowering occurs before pollinators are active, it can lead to reduced reproduction rates for those plants, affecting the entire food web. Additionally, changes in precipitation patterns, such as increased droughts or more intense rainfall, can stress trees and alter their growth patterns, making them more susceptible to diseases and pests. Species distributions are also shifting due to climate change. Many animals and plants are moving towards higher altitudes or latitudes in search of cooler habitats. This shift can lead to new interactions between species, as some may not be able to adapt quickly enough to the changing conditions, potentially leading to local extinctions. For example, certain bird species that rely on specific trees for nesting may find those trees are no longer in their preferred locations, leading to a decline in their populations. Moreover, forest ecosystems are complex, and the interconnectedness of species means that changes in one area can have ripple effects throughout the ecosystem. As species migrate, they may outcompete native species, leading to a loss of biodiversity. Furthermore, invasive species often thrive in changing climates, further threatening the stability of native plant and animal communities. The impact of climate change on water availability is also crucial. As forests depend on a stable supply of water, any changes can lead to stress on these ecosystems. Reduced water levels can result in slower growth rates for trees, which may affect carbon sequestration, a critical process for mitigating climate change. In addition, forest fires are becoming more frequent and intense due to drier conditions and higher temperatures, leading to further alterations in species distributions. Some species may adapt to these fires, but others may struggle to survive, leading to shifts in forest composition and structure. In summary, climate change poses a significant threat to forest phenology and the distributions of various species, creating a cascade of ecological challenges that could reshape our forests for generations to come. Forests, with their towering trees and rich biodiversity, play a crucial role in the interaction with other ecosystems, like wetlands and grasslands, creating a complex web of ecological relationships. One fundamental way forests interact with wetlands is through water regulation. Forests help to maintain the water cycle by absorbing rainfall and releasing moisture back into the atmosphere, which can influence the hydrology of adjacent wetlands. This absorption of water not only helps to prevent flooding, but also ensures that wetlands have a steady supply of water, especially during dry seasons, supporting the diverse plant and animal life that thrives there. Moreover, the roots of forest trees can stabilize soil, reducing erosion and runoff into wetlands, which can otherwise carry pollutants and sediment that harm aquatic habitats. The organic matter that falls from trees, such as leaves and branches, enriches the soil and can be washed into wetlands, adding nutrients that benefit aquatic plants and microorganisms. This organic input from forests creates a nutrient-rich environment in wetlands, enhancing productivity and biodiversity. When it comes to grasslands, the interactions are equally fascinating. Forests can provide essential habitat for various species that may also inhabit grasslands, creating edges where these ecosystems meet. These edges are often areas rich in biodiversity, where species from both environments can coexist. Additionally, forests can influence the microclimate of grasslands, offering shade and altering wind patterns, which can affect the growth patterns of grassland plants. During certain seasons, the seeds and fruits that drop from trees can serve as food for various grassland animals, creating a link between the two ecosystems. The relationship between forests and other ecosystems is not only beneficial, but also necessary for maintaining ecological balance. For example, forested areas can act as corridors for wildlife, allowing animals to move between forests, grasslands and wetlands safely. This movement is vital for genetic diversity, as it enables species to find new mates and adapt to changing environmental conditions. Furthermore, the presence of forests can influence the types of species that thrive in adjacent ecosystems. Certain birds and insects that rely on forest habitats may migrate to grasslands, which can enhance pollination and seed dispersal in those areas. This interaction supports the overall health of grassland ecosystems, allowing them to flourish. In addition, the interplay between forests, wetlands and grasslands can have profound effects on carbon storage. Forests are known to sequester significant amounts of carbon, and this carbon can be transported to nearby ecosystems through various processes, such as decomposition and soil movement. Wetlands in forest loss has significant implications for global biodiversity and species extinction, as forests are home to an incredible variety of plants, animals, and microorganisms. When forests are destroyed, whether through logging, agriculture, or urban development, the habitats of countless species are altered or completely removed, leading to a decline in biodiversity. This decline in biodiversity affects not only the species that inhabit these forests, but also the ecosystems that depend on them. For instance, many animals rely on specific trees or plants for food, shelter, and breeding grounds, and without these vital resources, their populations can plummet. Furthermore, the loss of a single species can have a ripple effect throughout the ecosystem, disrupting food chains and leading to further declines in other species. In addition to habitat loss, deforestation contributes to climate change, which in turn poses additional threats to biodiversity. As forests are cut down, the carbon stored in trees is released into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. This change in climate can alter the conditions in which many species thrive, making it difficult for them to survive, especially if they are unable to migrate to more suitable habitats. Some species may face extinction if they cannot adapt quickly enough to these new conditions, while others, particularly those with limited ranges, may not be able to move at all. Moreover, forest loss can lead to the fragmentation of ecosystems, where remaining patches of forest become isolated from each other. This fragmentation limits the movement of species, making it harder for them to find mates, disperse to new areas, or access the resources they need to survive. For example, large mammals, such as elephants or tigers, require extensive territories to roam and find food, and when their habitats are divided, their populations can become genetically isolated, further increasing the risk of extinction. The effects of forest loss are not only felt by wildlife, they also impact human communities. Indigenous peoples, who often rely on forests for their livelihoods, culture, and identity, face significant challenges as their environments are altered or destroyed. This loss of biodiversity can also affect ecosystem services that humans depend on, such as clean water, air purification, and pollination of crops. Healthy forests play a crucial role in maintaining these services, and their decline can lead to negative consequences for food security and human health. In conclusion, the implications of forest loss for global biodiversity and species extinction are profound and far-reaching, affecting not only the plants and animals that inhabit these ecosystems, but also the overall health of the planet and the well-being of human. Sustainable forest management practices are designed to balance ecological health with economic needs in several ways, ensuring that forests can continue to provide resources while maintaining biodiversity and ecosystem services. One key approach is selective logging, which allows for the harvesting of trees without completely clearing an area. This method helps to preserve the forest structure, maintain habitats for wildlife, and support the regeneration of tree species. By carefully choosing which trees to cut, forest managers can promote forest health, allowing younger trees to grow and thrive while still meeting the demand for timber and other forest products. Another important aspect is the integration of forest management with the surrounding landscape. This involves creating buffer zones around sensitive areas, such as streams and wetlands, which helps to protect water quality and maintain habitat for various species. By managing forests in connection with adjacent ecosystems, we can enhance resilience to climate change, reduce the risk of pests and diseases, and support a diverse range of wildlife. This interconnected approach also benefits local economies, as healthy forests can attract tourism, recreation, and other sustainable economic activities. Certification programs, such as those developed by the Forest Stewardship Council, play a critical role in promoting sustainable practices. These programs provide guidelines for responsible forest management, ensuring that timber and other products come from well-managed forests. By encouraging consumers to choose certified products, we can create a market incentive for forest managers to adopt sustainable practices, which ultimately supports both ecological health and economic viability. Moreover, engaging local communities in forest management is essential for achieving sustainability. When communities are involved in decision-making processes, they can share their knowledge and values, helping to create management plans that reflect both ecological and social needs. This participatory approach fosters a sense of stewardship, encouraging people to care for their forests, while also benefiting economically through sustainable harvesting, non-timber forest products, and ecotourism. Educational programs and outreach are also vital, as they raise awareness about the importance of forests and the need for sustainable practices. By informing the public about the ecological roles forests play, such as carbon sequestration, soil protection, and water regulation, we can inspire action and support for sustainable forest initiatives. This knowledge empowers individuals and communities to advocate for policies and practices that balance economic needs with ecological health. In summary, sustainable forest management practices can effectively balance ecological health with economic needs through selective logging, landscape integration, certification programs, community engagement, and education. By adopting these practices, we ensure that forests continue to thrive and provide for future generations, creating a harmonious relationship between nature. Forest Stewardship Councils, often referred to as FSC, play a vital role in promoting sustainable forestry practices across the globe. These organizations are dedicated to responsible forest management, ensuring that forests are maintained not just for economic purposes, but for environmental health and social responsibility as well. When forests are managed sustainably, it means that they are harvested in a way that preserves their biodiversity, productivity, and ecological processes, which is essential for the health of our planet, and for the communities that rely on these forests for their livelihoods. Certification from these councils serves as a way to verify that wood and paper products come from responsibly managed forests. When you see the FSC label on a product, it indicates that the materials have been sourced from forests that adhere to strict environmental, social, and economic standards. This certification process involves rigorous assessments which take into account not only the health of the forest ecosystem, but also the rights and well-being of local communities. By choosing products with FSC certification, consumers can support practices that foster forest conservation, protect wildlife habitats, and promote fair labor practices. Moreover, forest stewardship councils work collaboratively with various stakeholders, including forest owners, NGOs, and indigenous communities, to develop sustainable forestry standards that are relevant to local conditions. These councils often engage in ongoing education and outreach efforts, informing landowners and businesses about best practices in forest management. Through these initiatives, they help to create a shared understanding of the importance of sustainable forestry and the long-term benefits it brings, such as improved forest health, climate resilience, and economic viability. The impact of these councils extends beyond just certification. They also play a role in advancing policies that support sustainable forest management at national and international levels. By advocating for responsible forestry practices and providing resources for implementation, forest stewardship councils help to shape the future of forest management, ensuring that forests continue to thrive for generations to come. The collaboration fostered by these councils creates a more sustainable and equitable approach to forestry, addressing the needs of the environment while also supporting the economic interests of communities that depend on these natural resources. In summary, forest stewardship councils, through their certification processes and collaborative efforts, are essential in promoting sustainable forestry practices that protect our forests, support local communities, and contribute to a healthier planet. Forest ecosystems play a significant role in enhancing mental health and reducing stress for people living in urban areas, as they provide a natural escape from the hustle and bustle of city life, offering tranquility and a chance to reconnect with nature. Research has shown that spending time in forests can lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which is often elevated in urban environments where noise, crowds, and fast-paced lifestyles can lead to anxiety and tension. The natural sounds of a forest, such as the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the gentle flow of water, create a serene atmosphere that calms the mind and promotes relaxation. Moreover, the presence of greenery and diverse plant life in forest ecosystems is not only visually pleasing, but also has a positive impact on mood. Studies indicate that exposure to nature can enhance feelings of happiness and well-being, and even improve cognitive function. In urban settings, where green spaces may be limited, the accessibility of nearby forests becomes crucial for mental rejuvenation, providing a much-needed retreat from the concrete jungle. The act of walking or hiking through a forest allows individuals to engage in physical activity, which is beneficial for both mental and physical health, as exercise releases endorphins, known as the body's natural mood lifters. Furthermore, forests support mindfulness practices, as the beauty and complexity of nature encourage individuals to focus on the present moment, fostering a sense of peace and grounding. The scent of pine, the sight of sunlight filtering through the leaves, and the feeling of soft earth beneath one's feet can all contribute to a meditative experience, helping to alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. Urban dwellers often find that just a short visit to a nearby forest can provide a refreshing change of scenery and a mental reset, making it easier to cope with daily stresses. Additionally, forests serve as social spaces where friends and families can gather, share experiences, and create lasting memories, which further enhances emotional well-being. The communal aspect of enjoying nature together can foster stronger relationships and provide support systems essential for mental health, especially in urban populations where social isolation may be more prevalent. Forest therapy, or Shinrin-yoku, a practice that originated in Japan, emphasizes the health benefits of immersing oneself in a forest environment, advocating for regular visits to these natural spaces as a form of preventive healthcare. Urban planners are increasingly recognizing the importance of green spaces for public health, advocating for the preservation and creation of parks and forests in city designs, and acknowledging that forests, which cover about 31% of the Earth's land area, play a crucial role in maintaining the health of our planet, but they are facing numerous challenges in the future, challenges that could threaten their existence and the ecosystems they support. One significant challenge is climate change, which leads to increased temperatures, shifting precipitation patterns, and more frequent and severe weather events, all of which can stress forest ecosystems. As temperatures rise, many tree species may struggle to adapt or migrate to more suitable habitats, resulting in altered forest compositions and decreased biodiversity. Additionally, the increased frequency of wildfires, pests, and diseases, exacerbated by climate change, poses another threat to forest health, potentially leading to large-scale die-offs and habitat loss. Another prominent challenge is deforestation, driven primarily by agricultural expansion, logging, and urbanization. This loss of forest cover not only reduces biodiversity, but also contributes to carbon emissions, further intensifying climate change. In many regions, particularly in tropical areas, the demand for land for agriculture continues to grow, putting immense pressure on forests. Urban sprawl and infrastructure development also encroach on forested areas, fragmenting habitats and making it difficult for wildlife to thrive. To address these future challenges, various conservation strategies are being proposed and implemented across the globe. One such strategy is the establishment of protected areas which are designed to conserve forests and their biodiversity. By creating national parks, wildlife reserves, and conservation easements, governments and organizations aim to safeguard vital habitats from development and exploitation. Moreover, these protected areas not only help preserve biodiversity, but also serve as carbon sinks, helping to mitigate climate change. Restoration efforts are another essential strategy in forest conservation. Reforesting degraded areas, planting native species, and restoring natural habitats can help rebuild ecosystems, enhance biodiversity, and improve the resilience of forests against climate change. Programs that promote agroforestry, integrating trees into agricultural landscapes, also provide a sustainable way to balance land use with forest conservation, allowing for both agricultural productivity and forest health. Community involvement is critical in these conservation efforts. Engaging local communities in sustainable forest management practices ensures that they benefit from the resources forests provide, while also taking an active role in their protection. Education and awareness programs can empower communities to understand the value of forests, leading to more sustainable practices that benefit both people and nature. Innovative approaches such as the use of technology in monitoring forest health and illegal logging activities are being explored as well. Satellite imagery, drones, and other remote sensing technologies, forests, often called the lungs of our planet, harbor a complex web of life, teeming with interactions that sustain both flora and fauna. One fascinating aspect of forests is their incredible biodiversity, which includes not only the towering trees, but also the myriad of plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms that coexist within this vibrant ecosystem. For instance, did you know that a single tree can support thousands of species, from the tiniest insects like ants and beetles to larger mammals such as deer and bears? Forests provide essential habitats and food sources that promote a rich tapestry of life. Moreover, trees communicate with one another through an underground network of fungi, often referred to as the wood wide web, allowing them to share nutrients and even alert each other to threats such as pests or diseases. This interconnectedness not only supports individual species, but also enhances the resilience of the entire ecosystem, enabling it to withstand various environmental pressures. Another captivating element of forest ecosystems is their role in regulating the climate. Forests act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis, which helps mitigate climate change. Interestingly, mature forests store more carbon than younger ones, primarily because they have more biomass and a greater capacity to sequester carbon over time. The presence of diverse plant species also contributes to this carbon storage, as different species have varying growth rates and abilities to capture carbon. Additionally, forests influence local weather patterns as they release water vapor through a process called transpiration, which can lead to increased rainfall in surrounding areas. This connection between forests and climate is crucial, as it highlights the importance of protecting these ecosystems not only for biodiversity, but also for the health of our planet. Yet, forests face numerous threats, including deforestation, climate change, and invasive species. The loss of forest cover, driven by agriculture, logging, and urbanization, poses a significant risk to biodiversity, as many species depend on these habitats for survival. Invasive species, on the other hand, can outcompete native species for resources, disrupting the delicate balance of forest ecosystems. For example, the introduction of non-native plants can alter soil chemistry and nutrient cycles, which may hinder the growth of local flora. Conservation efforts are vital to combat these threats, and many organizations work tirelessly to restore degraded forests, create protected areas, and promote sustainable land use practices. Engaging local communities in conservation can also empower them to take an active role in preserving their natural surroundings. Another intriguing